let's dive in. Today we're tackling protein. It's basically the building block of, well, everything in our bodies. You know it's important, right? But you've ever thought about what happens to that protein, like a chicken breast or your protein shake after you swallow it?
Yeah, it's a pretty fascinating journey, not as simple as you might think. It's not just eat protein, boom, muscles.
That's exactly why we're doing this deep dive, ready to break it all down. Digestion, absorption, the whole nine yards. So where do we start?
Well, first, you got to understand that digestion and absorption are like two separate steps, but they're both super important. Digestion is all about breaking down those big, complex protein molecules into smaller pieces. It's like, if you had a giant Lego structure and you had to take it apart.
Okay, so we're taking apart the Legos. Then what?
That's where absorption kicks in. Those smaller pieces, those individual Legos get transported into your bloodstream so your body can use them to, well, build other stuff. Like taking those Legos and creating something totally new.
So it's not just about eating enough protein. It's about making sure our bodies can actually use it. This is already making me think differently about things.
Exactly. Now, let's start at the very beginning of this protein adventure, shall we? Your mouth. Even chewing plays a role, believe it or not, and your saliva. It has enzymes that start breaking down some components of food right away.
Whoa, hold on. So we're already digesting protein before we even swallow. That's wild.
It is, but the real action, the heavy lifting, starts in the stomach. Think of it like a powerful mixer. It churns everything up, and it's got these strong acids and enzymes, making it a pretty intense environment. It's designed to break those proteins down even further.
So it was like a protein demolition derby down there. But that doesn't hurt us.
Nope, no worries. Your stomach has this special lining. You can think of it like a super strong shield protecting it from all that acid.
Okay, that's a relief. But what about that feeling you get sometimes, when a protein shake seems to digest, like way faster than a steak? Is that a real thing, or am I imagining things?
You're not imagining it. How quickly your stomach empties, it actually depends on what you've eaten. So yeah, a simple protein shake is going to move through faster than something like a meal that's high in fat or fiber. There's this muscular valve, it's called the pyloric sphincter, and it basically controls the flow from your stomach to your small intestine.
So it's like a gatekeeper making sure things don't move too quickly.
Precisely. Now, once the protein leaves the stomach, it enters the small intestine, and that's where things get even more interesting. Think of the small intestine as the MVP of absorption, and it's incredibly long, and that's not by accident.
So longer is better when it comes to absorption, is that what you're saying?
You got it. It has 3 different sections, the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum, and they each play a role, but the duodenum, that's where the real protein story happens.
Okay, I'm hooked. What's so special about this duodenum?
Well, it teams up with 2 other important organs, the liver and the pancreas. They provide key ingredients, if you will, to help with those final steps of protein breakdown. So the liver, it delivers bile, which is super important for breaking down fats. And the pancreas, it provides bicarbonate, which helps to neutralize that acidic mixture that's coming from the stomach.
Oh, it's like a whole team effort in there. Each organ has its own specific job to do.
Exactly. And speaking of teamwork, the pancreas also releases some pretty powerful enzymes that target those partially digested proteins, breaking them down even further.
This is amazing. So many moving parts. But we're still talking about partially digested proteins, right?
Yeah.
How do those actually get absorbed into the bloodstream?
Great question. That's where we need to zoom in and talk about those tiny building blocks. Amino acids. Think of protein like a complex puzzle. Each puzzle piece is an amino acid. These amino acids link together to form these chains. They're called peptides. And when you have lots of peptides, that forms a complete protein.
Oh, I get it. It's like a string of beads. Each bead is an amino acid, and the whole string is the protein.
Perfect analogy. But here's the thing. Your small intestine, it can't absorb a whole protein or even a long peptide chain. It needs those broken down into individual amino acids or very small peptides.
So those tiny amino acids have to get into the bloodstream somehow? How does that even happen?
Well, think about this. The small intestine has this amazing design feature that helps to maximize absorption. It's all about surface area. Imagine a shag carpet, right, versus a smooth floor. Which one do you think has more surface area?
The shag carpet for sure. Wait, I think I see where you're going with this.
Exactly. The lining of your small intestine, it has these finger-like projections. They're called villi. And on top of those villi, you have even tinier microvilli. It's like a shag carpet on top of another shag carpet.
Wow, mind blown. So much detail in our digestive system.
Okay.
So those amino acids are finally getting absorbed through this massive, super intricate surface. Where do they go next?
You might think they head straight for your muscles, right?
I mean, that's what I always thought.
But it's not quite that straightforward. Those amino acids, they take a little detour to the liver first. The liver is like the central command center for all your nutrients. It decides where those valuable building blocks are going to go.
The liver's calling the shots. Interesting. But hold on, if we're eating protein specifically to grow our muscles, can't we, direct those amino acids straight to our muscles somehow?
I wish it were that easy. Unfortunately, there's just no way to, earmark protein for a specific area. The liver plays a big role in regulating how nutrients get distributed, making sure that all your tissues get what they need.
So no matter how much I focus on my biceps when I'm sipping my protein shake, there's no guarantee those amino acids are going straight there.
Exactly. And this is where the idea of nitrogen balance comes in. It's all about understanding the relationship between the protein you're eating and the protein that's being broken down in your body.
Okay, nitrogen balance. You've got my attention. Tell me more.
So nitrogen is a key element in those amino acids we've been talking about. When you eat protein, you're taking in nitrogen. But your body's also breaking down protein all the time, and that releases nitrogen. So nitrogen balance is just the difference between what you're taking in and what you're losing.
So it's like a bank account, right? Deposits are protein intake, withdrawals are protein breakdown. And you want a positive balance to build muscle.
You got it. To build muscle, you need to be in a positive nitrogen balance, meaning you're taking in more protein than your body's breaking down.
Okay, that makes total sense. Total protein intake is key.
Yeah.
But what about the type of protein? Does it matter if it's whey, casein, plant-based? What's the deal with that?
That's a great question, and it's one we should definitely dive into more, especially for people who are following plant-based diets. You see, animal-based proteins, like whey and casein, those are considered complete proteins because they have all the essential amino acids that our bodies need.
Essential amino acids. What's so special about those?
Well, those are the amino acids that our bodies can't make on their own, so we have to get them from our diet. Plant-based proteins, they can sometimes be missing one or more of these essential amino acids, making them incomplete.
So if you're vegan or vegetarian, you have to be a bit more strategic to make sure you're getting all the essential ones.
Absolutely. Combining different plant-based protein sources throughout the day, that can help ensure you're getting the full spectrum of amino acids that you need.
Variety is key. Got it. So we've talked about the importance of total protein intake and different protein sources. But what about when we eat our protein? Does the timing matter at all?
While the total amount you eat throughout the day is the most important thing, timing can definitely play a role, especially if you're looking to optimize your muscle recovery and growth after a workout. We can dig into that a bit later, but first, I think it's important to address another common myth about protein.
A protein myth, huh? You know I love busting those wide open. What's the myth?
It's the idea that just eating more and more protein will automatically give you bigger muscles. It's a little more complicated than that.
Oh, yeah. I think I might have fallen for that one myself. So what's the real deal?
Well, our bodies are really good at, regulating how they use protein. So even if you're eating a ton of it, your muscles aren't going to just magically bulk up. Remember that nitrogen balance thing we were talking about earlier?
Oh, right. The protein bank account analogy.
Yeah, exactly. So to build muscle, you need to constantly have more protein coming in than going out, right? Got to stay in that positive nitrogen balance zone. But there's actually another piece to this puzzle, and that's the types of amino acids you're getting.
You're talking about those essential amino acids again, right? The ones our bodies can't make.
Yep, that's the one. And it turns out that some of those essential amino acids, especially one called leucine, they really kickstart that muscle protein synthesis process, which is what actually builds new muscle tissue.
So it's not just about hitting your protein target for the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about getting enough of those specific muscle-building amino acids like leucine.
You got it. And that's actually where the timing of your protein intake can play a role. So if you have a source of leucine right after your workout, that can really help maximize muscle protein synthesis.
Okay, so that post-workout shake might actually be worth it as long as it has those right amino acids. It's all about fueling those muscles at the right time.
Exactly. But timing, that's kind of like the fine-tuning. The foundation is still about getting enough total protein consistently throughout the day.
So nail the basics first and then worry about the fancy timing stuff.
Yeah.
Got it. But honestly, it can feel a little overwhelming trying to track all these different things.
Yeah, I can definitely see how it can get confusing. But at the end of the day, it boils down to just a few key principles.
Okay, so for someone who really wants to make sure they're getting the most out of their protein intake.
Yeah.
What would you say are the top 3 takeaways?
All right, number 1, absolutely prioritize that total protein intake throughout the day. Like we talked about, you want to be aiming for that positive nitrogen balance. That's the foundation for, well, pretty much everything: muscle growth, recovery, and just overall health.
That's great advice. What's number 2?
Number 2, you got to pay attention to the quality of your protein sources. You want to make sure you're getting a good mix of those essential amino acids. And this is especially important for those plant-based eaters out there. Combining different sources throughout the day can really help with that.
Gotcha. Variety is key. And for the final takeaway?
Think about the timing, especially when it comes to your workouts. Having some protein shortly after you exercise can really help boost muscle recovery and growth.
It's like a 3-pronged approach then.
Yeah.
Quantity, quality, timing, focusing on all 3, and boom, you've got a solid protein strategy.
You nailed it. And if you're curious about what your own specific protein needs might be, there are some really good resources out there to help you figure that out. Like, there's a protein calculator from the International Society of Sports Nutrition.
Awesome. We'll definitely link to that in the show notes for anyone who wants to explore further. We've talked a lot about protein and muscle growth, but I know it does a whole lot more in the body too, right?
You're totally right. It's so easy to focus on protein for, like, building biceps, but it's involved in so many other vital functions throughout the body. We're talking immune function, hormone production, all sorts of stuff. And speaking of plant-based diets, there are tons of amazing protein sources out there that go way beyond just the usual suspects.
Oh, now you've got my attention. Always looking for new ideas. What are some of your favorite plant-based protein sources?
Okay, so first off, lentils. They're like a protein and fiber powerhouse, and you can do so much with them. Throw them in salads, soups, stews, you name it. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
Lentils are a staple in my house. Love them. What else you got?
All right, next up, chickpeas. They're another great option. They're packed with protein and iron, and they're so versatile. Hummus, roasted snacks, you can even throw them in a smoothie.
You know what? I just tried chickpea pasta recently, and honestly, it was so good.
Right? There are so many cool plant-based products out there these days. Oh, and we can't forget about quinoa. Quinoa is a complete protein, so that means it has all 9 of those essential amino acids. Plus, it's gluten-free, which is a great bonus for folks with sensitivities.
Quinoa is a winner in my book, too. Now, what about tofu? I know it can be kind of a controversial one.
Yeah, tofu definitely gets a bad rap sometimes, but it's actually a fantastic source of protein. And it's really versatile. It just absorbs flavor so well, so it all comes down to how you prepare it. Oh, and then there's tempeh, too. That's another fermented soybean product that's worth checking out.
So many delicious options to explore. It sounds like the key is to, just have fun experimenting and finding what you enjoy.
Exactly. It's all about figuring out what works best for you and your lifestyle. But no matter what your diet looks like, always remember that protein isn't just about, getting jacked. It's truly essential for pretty much every aspect of our health.
I think that's a perfect transition into the final part of our protein deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground today: how protein gets digested and absorbed, why that nitrogen balance is so important, and all those amazing plant-based protein sources. But there's still more to learn about this amazing nutrient, right?
Oh, absolutely. We've really just scratched the surface of protein's role in the body. It impacts everything from our immune system to our hormones. It's honestly pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Well, I'm ready to dive even deeper.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up part 2 of our protein adventure and jump right into that final segment. Okay, we're back, ready to wrap up our epic protein deep dive. We've covered a ton of ground, digestion, absorption, amino acids, all that good stuff. We even got into some yummy plant-based protein sources.
Yeah.
But you were saying earlier that protein does way more than just help build muscle.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's easy to get caught up in how protein helps build those biceps, but it's actually involved in so many other critical functions in the body.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What else is protein doing behind the scenes?
Well, one of its major roles is in the creation of enzymes. And enzymes, these are like specialized proteins that act as catalysts. They speed up all kinds of chemical reactions in the body. They're like tiny little machines that make sure everything keeps running smoothly.
So are you saying that without enzymes, our bodies would basically, shut down?
Pretty much. I mean, so many essential processes depend on enzymes to function properly. Digestion, metabolism, DNA replication, all that stuff. They're kind of like the unsung heroes of our internal world.
That's wild. It's crazy to think about all these tiny proteins working so hard to keep us alive and kicking. What else should we know about the power of protein?
Don't forget about hormones. Hormones are these chemical messengers, right? They control tons of bodily functions, and a lot of them are actually made from protein.
So you're talking about things that affect our energy levels, our mood, everything.
Exactly. Like insulin, which regulates blood sugar, that's a protein. Growth hormone, which is essential for growth and repair, that's a protein too. So many of the hormones that basically control our bodies are built from these, amazing chains of amino acids.
Protein is like a superhero with multiple superpowers. I had no idea it was involved in so many different aspects of our health.
And that's not all. Protein also plays a super important role in the immune system. Ever heard of antibodies? Those are the things that protect us from infections. And guess what? They're proteins too.
So eating enough protein helps us stay healthy and fight off those bugs.
Right, absolutely. Protein gives your immune system the building blocks it needs to be strong and resilient. It's like equipping your body's defense team with the best weapons and armor.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. Protein isn't just about building muscles. It's truly foundational to our overall health and well-being.
Exactly. And that's why it's important to, make protein a priority in your diet, no matter what stage of life you're in. It's not just about hitting the gym or trying to bulk up.
Makes total sense. But do our protein needs ever change, like throughout our lives? Do kids need more protein than adults? What about pregnant women or older adults?
Yeah, that's a great question. Our protein needs definitely fluctuate, depending on our age, how active we are, and all sorts of other things. Like kids, they need lots of protein because they're growing so fast, right? I mean, they're literally building their bodies.
Yeah, of course. Kids need those building blocks in overdrive. What about pregnancy?
Pregnancy is another time when protein needs go way up. It's essential for that baby to grow and develop properly, and it helps support all the changes happening in the mother's body, too.
So it's more than just eating for two. You really have to make sure you're getting enough protein in those calories.
Exactly. And then as we get older, maintaining muscle mass becomes even more important for our overall health and mobility. So adequate protein intake is key for aging gracefully, too.
Wow, we've come a long way from talking about those tiny amino acids to the big picture of lifelong health. It's amazing to see how protein really does touch every single stage of life.
It really is a fascinating nutrient. I hope that everyone listening has, maybe learned something new about protein and how it affects their bodies.
I know I have. This deep dive has been a total game changer for me. I'm definitely feeling inspired to pay closer attention to my protein intake and, share this knowledge with others.
That's awesome. Remember, even small changes can make a big difference over time. Like maybe try swapping out that sugary afternoon snack for a handful of almonds or whip up a protein-packed smoothie.
I love that. Small, sustainable changes. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. By making mindful choices and incorporating those protein-rich foods into our diets, we can really support our bodies and all the amazing things they do.
This has been an incredible journey. I want to thank you so much for taking us on this deep dive into the world of protein and sharing your expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure. And to everyone listening, keep exploring the world of nutrition. There's always more to learn about how to fuel our bodies and live healthier lives.
Couldn't agree more. And to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this awesome protein adventure. Remember, the journey continues every time you eat. Happy snacking, everyone.